Good morning, people. Now, yeah, I don't want to really start a vlog when I'm stopped in traffic. But basically, today what I'm going to be talking about is the Sena 20S, because I've got it in the mail. As some of you know, I bought it 2 weeks ago, and it arrived. I've been using it for about 5 days now, somewhere there. No, I take it back. I've been using it for about four days or so. I got it on... When did I get it? I got it on Saturday, and today is Wednesday. So today's the 5th day, yeah. So today's the 5th day, and that truck wants to turn. Okay. Cool. Anyways, alright, so now that I'm moving, let's get on with the vlog. Alright, so basically what's happening is I've been using the Sena 20S for 5 days now. It's been serving me pretty well. The unit actually is quite a bit bigger than I had in mind, but I mean, if it's not that size, then it's gonna be really hard to feel around for the buttons. Even after 5 days, I'm just slowly starting to get used to where the buttons are. Sometimes it still takes me a good few minutes to just, you know, reach around or feel around and see what buttons what. So sometimes I still have to do that, but it's just that it's a lot less time to do that now, because I'm starting to get used to the unit. Now, what I really like about the Sena 20S compared to the SMH10, which my friend has, he said the new firmware really upgraded it a bit, so there's not as many flaws as before. But what I really like about the 20S, that no matter what firmware it goes on for SMH10, the Sena 20S has voice commands. So you can actually double tap the unit and activate voice control. And for my purposes, voice control is actually quite convenient. I can activate music through it, I can use the radio, I can do speed dial, I can even do regular dial, as long as I know the contact's... I can dial through phone number, or you can dial through name. It works both ways, which I find really awesome. So yeah, you can double tap the helmet, you can press the ambient button, you can press the whatever, like, jog dial buttons that's required to use the function that you want it to. Any of those would work. It's just that voice command's the one that requires your hand off the handlebars the shortest amount of time, because all you do is double tap, and then you get voice control, and then you just tell the Sena person what you want, and they'll do it. Now that's the voice control, but like, how do you activate the voice control? I keep saying you double tap it, and that's quite literally what it is. You double tap the unit. But when I say double tap, what I first discovered is that it's not really a tap, it's really a smack. You need to, like, give it a good firm tap in order to count as a tap. Even with my sensitivity set to high, so then that's like the most sensitive it can be. Even with that, it still takes 2 good whacks on the Sena unit, or the side of the helmet near the Sena unit. It can detect that too. So if you're not comfortable hitting your Sena unit, you can just as well hit the side of the helmet with a bit more force, if you want to hit there instead, with a bit more force, just to, you know, get the voice command going. Now, the speakers are quite good. For Bluetooth units, I would say they're actually quite decently built. They're giant magnets essentially. They measure about, if I were to estimate it off the top of my head, about 3.5 cms. Sorry for those in the States, I work by metric, I'm Canadian. So that's approximately 1.25 inch, I would say. I don't know my units that well, but it's approximately 1.25 inch and about 3.5 to 4 cms. It's approximately in that ballpark, and that's the diameter. In terms of thickness, it's about 0.5 cm, or maybe a little less than that. But it's quite a giant. It's quite a giant speaker. So point is, if you were to put that into your helmet that does not have designated spots for speakers like my Icon Armada, they have these small little cutouts, but it's not anywhere near enough to place speakers in. I don't think they're meant for speakers initially either. But anyways, if you don't have those designated spots, you can expect the side of your helmet to squish in about 0.5 cm to 1 cm more. And that's the only gripe I have with the Sena unit. It's not a bad thing that on their part, because really my helmet was not designed for speakers, and I didn't take that into account when I was buying my helmet. More like I didn't really care. I didn't even give it a thought because I didn't think I'd be buying a Sena unit. But after after 2 years of riding, I decided to get Sena units just to have music, enjoy the ride even more, get intercom if I'm riding with friends, things like that. So that's why I went with the Sena. So yeah, it's not a bad thing on their part, but why is this a gripe to me? It's because every time I put on my helmet now, my ears fold in a little bit. Now it's not like they're completely folded and uncomfortable. At first it was slightly uncomfortable, but now it's more like just the tip of the corners of my ear, the top corners, fold a bit, and it doesn't hurt or anything. You just feel them a little bit folded. Now if you put on your helmet in a certain way, you can actually eliminate most of that. I managed to get my left ear to not fold at all, while my right ear is still folded a bit. No matter what I tried, I couldn't get the right ear to unfold. That's just, you know, how it's gonna be. I'll just have to live with that. So yeah, overall I'd say it's pretty good. If you were planning to get the 20S, wait till it goes on sale. I got mine on Amazon for, I believe, $223. Right now, I believe I recently checked, they're on $217, which I was like, could have saved a few more bucks, but that means I would have waited for another 2 weeks or so. And seeing how much I'm enjoying this, I don't mind paying the extra $6. But point is, just don't buy it. Just don't buy the Sena unit as an impulse buy when it's like in the 300s. Sorry, Canadians. When it's in the 350s for Canadians. Buy it when it's more on sale. So then on the Canadian Amazon, I've seen it as low as around 304, 305. Now when I bought it from Amazon.com at 223, after the conversion rate back to Canadian dollars, it's about that price. It's about just over 300. That's where I'd place it around as a good deal for the Sena unit. Just about the 300 seems, it's fine there. Any more and you're really, I don't know. For me, because I'm a student, I don't have much money. I'd like to get it as cheap as possible, and that's the cheapest I've seen. So that's the cheapest that I'll tell you guys to get it at. If you have the money to dish it out and you want a Sena unit, by all means go ahead and get your Sena unit. If you're debating between the SMH10 or even the SMH10R or the 20S, I'd say go for the 20S. To my knowledge, the SMH10 is only about $50 or so cheaper, or maybe like 100, but trust me, in a Bluetooth unit, you're investing in quite a bit. You might as well invest in the top-notch one instead of buying a second-tier Bluetooth unit. You might as well get the best. It's well worth the money. I guarantee it. Now on forums, there are some people that say that their 20S is somewhat faulty, in a sense that the radio is all static and nothing else. Now I did not have a problem like that. I listen to the radio sometimes. Mine is crystal clear. My radio is clearer than my car radio, though my car radios are not that good. So yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with the radio. When I say, now back to the speakers for a bit, because I'm just going all over the place at the Sena unit right now. Now all over the place, I'm gonna go back to the speakers. The speakers are good, but they are not anything like Dre Beats, or Beats in general. Oh crud, there's a bus. Okay, the bus is slower than I thought. Now they're not anything like Beats. Don't expect super heavy bass. Don't expect like the most top-notch audio quality you can get. Don't expect any of that. Cause the reason being, after all, these things fit in your helmet. They can only put so much in there. And it's just, you know, it's just the way it is. It's not gonna be able to compete with anything bigger than that. So just take that into consideration. Go into it with an open mind, but don't go into it with like ridiculous whatchamacallit, with ridiculous expectations. I blanked for a moment because I was trying to cut over too. Yeah, just don't go in with ridiculous expectations. It's overall, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. If they could make the unit a little bit, or not the unit, sorry. If they could make the speakers a little bit thinner, that'd be better. But if they're gonna sacrifice quality of the speakers for that, I'd say no. Keep the speakers as they are. So yeah, it paired up flawlessly. Setting it up, putting it on your helmet, it's pretty easy. The only thing is, before you tighten it down all the way, or even before you place it on, make sure your speakers are able to reach the slots in where you want the speakers to go. Just because, why I say that? It's because I actually tightened it down and then realized one of my speakers don't fully reach the spot that I wanted to. It's not like they don't reach, they do reach. But the routing of the wire could be a little bit better. But it's not like insanely off where I would consider undoing it and doing it again. It's not that bad, so that's why I'm just gonna leave it. But I mean, yeah, make sure you plan ahead before you put it in. That way, your wiring would be a lot better too. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm late. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Sena 20S, feel free to just, you know, give me a comment, whatever you know, PM me, do whatever you need to, just to get your question answered. I'll try my best to answer it. Now, I don't have any comparison to the 10S because I've never used it or even seen it, so keep that in mind. I have the 20S and that's it. So yeah, make sure you guys just, you know, if you have any comments, just leave it in the comments box below. I'll get back to you guys. Yeah, see ya. See you guys next time.